Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Currently Speaking, the podcast of the Current Consulting Group. I'm Bill Current, founder of the Current Consulting Group, and today we are happy to welcome to this episode Erin Baird from SureHire. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Bill.
Now, before we get started, let me just remind you that if you would like to see past episodes of Currently Speaking, just go to currentconsultinggroup.com. You can find all of it in our podcast archive. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms. Follow us, like us, share it with others so that we can get the word out and more people can join us. So, Erin Baird is with SureHire, and SureHire, I'll let Erin tell us about SureHire in more detail, but I've been aware of SureHire, been working with them for a few years now, and what a great company up in Canada. And Erin has quickly become one of my favorite people in the industry. She's got a wealth of knowledge. She's going to share some of that with us today. Erin, tell us a little bit about SureHire and the variety of services that you offer.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you a bit of a background on SureHire. I always like to kind of tell the story of how we started. So we began as a small physiotherapy team assessing and treating clients that had been injured on the job site. So typically workers were being injured for a couple of reasons. Either one, they just didn't possess the necessary strength and conditioning to be able to complete the demands of the job and were getting hurt, or they had pre-existing conditions that were being aggravated by the work that they were completing. And at that time, which was around 2004, if companies were completing any type of pre-employment medical, it was really just a basic nurse assessment. Can you do some push-ups? Can you do some sit-ups, touch your toes, that sort of thing? And this type of assessment didn't really accurately reflect the physical demands of most work sites. So SureHire developed a comprehensive fitness to work program that was really aimed to evaluate the person's physical abilities based on the bona fide occupational requirements of the job. So from there, we saw great success in the fitness to work program, and our clients just started to ask for additional services. So can you complete drug and alcohol testing, fitness, in addition to the fitness to work, audiometric, mask fit, online training, background check. So that's really how we started. And it was just based on discussions with our clients. What did they need? What were they looking for? And just being able to provide that one-stop shop. So through our services, our goal is really to provide the foundations for safe, healthy, productive workforces and communities.
Okay, perfect. And audience, go to the SureHire website. You can find a lot of information. There's a time because they do so much. And they're really one of the top providers of drug testing and other occupational health services in Canada. But they recently built a facility in Texas. So, Erin, why did you guys decide to not just be in the U.S. market, but to actually establish a physical presence in the U.S.? And where besides Texas can people find SureHire?
Yeah, absolutely. So we take a very client-centric approach. So essentially, we had one of our long-term strategic clients that had been testing with us in Canada for quite some time. They actually had US operations. So they were really looking for a way to standardize their testing in Canada and the US. And they really liked the comprehensive approach that we took to a lot of our services, as well as our high level of service standards. So essentially, we stepped into action. We opened up a power center in Midland, Texas, just so we could be able to provide them with that same standardized services in Canada as well as the US. So in addition to testing at our power center in Midland, currently we can provide services nationally through a lot of the partnerships that we've developed. As well, we continue to grow our own direct network across the US.
Now, as the director of client relations at SureHire, you must deal with a lot of companies that work on both sides of the border, right? US.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we have a lot of clients that work in Canada as well as US operations. So a lot of them are trying to find that standardization in both countries. So that's kind of where we're able to kind of bridge that gap and provide those services.
Do you provide services, like safety sensitive workplaces, for example, oil and gas, for example? What makes you unique in terms of providing services in those markets?
For sure. Yeah. So we do provide drug and alcohol testing and those other occupational services and training for companies in safety sensitive workplaces. We work a lot with, industrial construction, oil and gas and transportation, but we do support other sectors like manufacturing, business and professional, that sort of thing. What our clients tell us makes us different is really that client experience. So that's one of our top priorities. All of our strategic clients are assigned a dedicated client advisor. So they really act as their main point of contact. So they only have one person person that they kind of have on speed dial that they can reach out to versus trying to navigate reaching out to multiple departments, which can be sometimes stressful for our clients. We try to make that easy. We also leverage technology to enhance that client experience as well. So we have our client portal SureLink. This just allows our clients the convenience of booking appointments online, viewing results. They can pull reports. They can also enroll participants in online training courses and things along those lines. So I think that really sets us apart from other providers. Is just the client experience is top of mind for us.
So SureLink is a proprietary technology. I mean, you developed it at SureHire, correct?
Exactly. So we have a team of in-house developers that developed SureLink. So it's really nice. And that way we can kind of pivot based on client demand. So if they reach out to us and say, hey, it'd be nice to really have to see this feature, or we really want to be able to pull this type of report or have this type of information on our dashboard, it's really nice because we have that team of developers in-house and we can make those changes quite easily and quite quickly.
So speaking of technology, I noticed recently that SureHire's developed a series of training courses available online training courses. So what prompted you to develop these courses, and how are they unique from, because there's a lot of products out on the market, but we've looked at all of your courses. They're very good. They're very well done. So what prompted you to do that, and what makes them unique?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. So I appreciate you saying that they're good and you enjoyed them. We created our online learning management system and variety of training courses for a few reasons. So one, we wanted to be able to train our staff and network partners efficiently and conveniently while maintaining that standardization and high level of service quality. So we wanted to be able to, track their certificates and credentials just to ensure they're obviously up to date, and then be a bit more proactive when it came to recertifications. We also added online safety training courses to support our clients and allow them to access those courses that they needed through one portal versus having, to log in and navigate different platforms for different courses. By implementing our own online training, we've been able to really see an impact. We've been able to reduce the time it takes to onboard new staff as well as our network partners. So that allows us to continually grow in those areas where we're seeing client demand. We've also seen, cost savings and time savings benefit from not having to, fly trainers out to complete training in person. So that's really helped. And I think the main thing that makes our training different, although it's online, we still wanted it to have that interactive feel. So we noticed that there were some courses out there that were, lacking visualization or those gamification elements. And as we know, 65% of the population are visual learners, and visuals are processed a lot faster in the brain than just plain text. So we wanted to really enhance that visual design just to aim to really increase the knowledge transfer for learners and make the courses more enjoyable. So I think that's one major thing that sets us apart, as well as when there are certain courses that require that practical component. Our online courses actually allow you to schedule that practical assessment online with a member of our training and development team.
So these courses would work in both the Canadian market and the U.S. market then?
Absolutely, yeah. We have some that are more Canadian specific, more U.S., or some that can be applicable to both as well.
Okay. And people can access the courses through your website?
Yeah, so we have, it's a separate platform called Intellect, which is the learning management system, but they can access them through the website, through SureLink, if they're a current client.
Okay. So for all the years I've been in the drug testing business, which is more than I want to, put a number on today, collections have been sort of the key. I mean, if the collection goes well and you're working with a reputable laboratory, you're going to get a good result, and you're going to be able to defend it if you're the client, the customer using it. But sometimes the collection can be the weak link in the process. So tell us about your customer collection program.
Yeah, absolutely. So how this started is we found there was certain clients that were doing work in very remote areas where they had 24/7 operations, and there really wasn't any collection sites or collectors for miles. So they needed a reliable alternative when it comes to post-incident and reasonable cause situations. They're not able to obviously drive 3 or 4 hours or have, or wait for a collector to come to site. So they were looking for a reliable option. So we were able to, again, leverage our technology through our our LMS and have company representatives trained to complete those drug and alcohol collections themselves. What's nice about the program is we provide them with that in-depth training and support from our training and development team. We also, send them all of the necessary supplies, from the CCFs to all of the lab panels, the shipping supplies, all of that. They also can utilize our laboratory and our MRO, and we securely store the records within our system so that they can have them all in one place for ease of reporting and tracking purposes. So currently for collector courses, we offer breath alcohol, urine, and oral fluid DOT and not DOT training for clients.
Okay. So both DOT and non-DOT then?
Yeah.
Excellent. So one of the other things I've noticed as over the years as we've talked and as I've spent time on your website is something called Workforce Solutions Partner. Now, I love SureHire, but everybody sort of throws that partnership by concept around. But what makes you a true partner with your clients for workforce solutions?
For sure. So I think, you're right. Everyone kind of uses that. We want to be your partner, but I think we really take that to heart. You can see that as an example of the client that needed testing in the US. We have those consistent check-ins and roadmap sessions to really find out where their business is going. So when we determined with that specific client they needed testing in the US, we looked into it and we opened up the Midland Power Center. So I think that really shows the true partnership. When we talk about the workforce solutions partner, this is just really how we tie all of our solutions together. So our one-stop shop type of experience for our clients really aims to streamline the processes and alleviate some of the disadvantages that can come with utilizing multiple providers for different services. So our workforce solutions include, some of the services we've already discussed: drug and alcohol testing, occupational testing, online education and training for employers, employees, and providers. And then with our SureLink client portal, that's really that main hub where all of the services can be booked. You can see the results online. This is where you can see the reports. This is where it's securely stored. So it's just kind of that main technology to house all of that. In addition, within our ecosystem, something that we haven't really discussed too much, that's something new that we've developed, is something called our applicant tracking system. We call it OneBoard. This streamlines the hiring process and onboarding process for employers so they can post jobs on there. They can create workflows for approvals and next steps. They can actually book testing and training courses for their new hires seamlessly right through this platform. So again, it just really aims to provide those solutions to support our clients through that full cycle, from hiring, onboarding, training, continuous education, that sort of thing. So one of our clients, they used a really good analogy recently, which I love. She called us her easy button. So I think that kind of sums up the whole workforce solutions partner concept really well.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting also that, in the U.S. market now, I've said this a number of times when we've been on the phone together, that the United States is maybe a good 10 years behind Canada when it comes to like the legalization of marijuana. Mm-hmm. And so we're sort of, in the U.S., we're sort of behind Canada in terms of dealing with some of these issues. But what I like about SureHire and what you just described in terms of workforce solutions is that I don't think drug testing is going away. I think it's here to stay. But I think as we move into the future, employers will deal with these issues on a much broader basis, with occupational health services, certainly background screens, things of that nature. But it'll be, we'll be concerned about their fitness for duty in the workplace and whether somebody's impaired as opposed to, using drugs like marijuana, which are legal in most states here in the U.S., on their own time, etc. And I'm not in any way suggesting that we condone individuals from being under the influence on the job, but that the focus will sort of shift toward making sure we have healthy workers and that exactly. they're not impaired on the job. It seems like you're sort of ahead of the curve on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think more employers are taking more of that holistic approach. Like we said, they're not just using the drug and alcohol testing. They're educating their workers and supervisors. They're taking reasonable suspicion training to make sure that they can appropriately identify the signs and symptoms of impairment. Because as we know, there isn't a specific test for cannabis that's going to tell you exactly how much they're impaired. So they have to kind of use a bunch of tools that are available to them. And we've really seen an increase in that education and training piece, especially around reasonable suspicion, to help supervisors navigate, what that looks like in the proper process to follow. So
Erin, thank you very much. That was great information. Anything you want to add before we close?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for having me. It was great chatting with you as always. We always appreciate your expertise and knowledge. And if anyone wants to reach out to us, they can contact us at our website, SureHire.com. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn or send me an email. And then we're also planning to be at the Andasa conference in Jacksonville, Florida in April. So hoping to have a booth and fingers crossed, trying to get a speaking spot as well. So hopefully we can see you there.
Yeah. I think you'll get a speaking slot. You've got some really interesting things to talk about. Erin, thank you again. And thank you everybody for joining this episode of Currently Speaking. If you'd like to learn more about Currently Speaking, go to our website, currentconsultinggroup.com. Check out our podcast archive, and you can find us on all of the popular podcast platforms. We're on virtually all of them now. Thank you for joining us today. And this concludes another episode of Currently Speaking.